Hi, everybody. We're laughing because it's talking to us again. But
Again.
welcome, welcome. Episode 25 of Floss Toss. How is everybody doing? Sue, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I am good. It's rainy, dreary, which I don't mind at
I'm
all.
loving it.
We're going into a heat wave, which I'm so excited about because everyone's coming. So we'll be by the pool for a week.
That'll be great for the girls.
Yeah.
Now, are either of them afraid of the water? Like my nephews. I have one nephew who's really a little afraid. He's 4.
Oh, well, I want to say no, but I know because they've been in water this year. But I bought all the safety apparel, except for Charlie is such a like she's minuscule for her age.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's really active. It's nerve-wracking. It's
Mm-hmm.
nerve-wracking because it's an in-ground pool, which is always just a little more nerve-wracking. But we have the alarm in it. We're ready.
You're ready. How exciting. And they're on the road as we're speaking
They're
right
on the
now.
road struggling, but it's okay.
Well,
how are you?
I am fine. It is dreary here. We always talk about the weather, don't we? But we have a dreary week. I looked at the forecast. The next 8 days shows a little partial sun, a cloud with a lightning bolt, and drops of rain coming out of it. So,
And now, when are you leaving?
we are going to be gone around the 4th of July that weekend.
Okay, so not next week.
No.
Oh,
Because that would be sad if it were like that. Oh, and how about our friends out in the Pacific Northwest? We used to live out there, and I still get the weather alerts on my phone for Tacoma, and all these like massive heat wave warnings, like 110 degrees in the Pacific Northwest. And most people don't have AC out there. We didn't have AC in our house out there.
Because it's typically cooler.
Oh, yeah. The average high in the summer is like 73 or something. It's beautiful. Summers out there are so heavenly.
Really should watch the news more often. I have no idea about any of this.
Yeah, I feel terrible.
News in 2 weeks.
Well, if it weren't for my social media, I wouldn't know about it either. I don't watch the news much myself.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, well, first of all, before we get started, we have an exciting giveaway. We've reached over 3,000 subscribers, and our friend Paige said when we reach 3,000 subscribers, she may have a little something that she wants to throw in the ring for us on a giveaway. So that we actually had Paige.
Something.
It's huge, people. It's huge. So stick around for that. At the end of our little talk here, we're going to bring Paige on, and she's going to share with us. Yes, she's coming on to our podcast. So there will be 3 faces on your screen at the end. So check that out. Very exciting.
It's really, really worth watching.
Yes. And we have, yes. Anyways, so we have that giveaway at the end. So stay tuned for that. We have a little bit of cross stitch to share, a little bit of punch needle, perhaps a little quilting. I know I've got an acquisition I thought I'd share. And I wanted to start out with a gift that you and I received from one of our beloved subscribers. You will definitely know.
I know nothing.
As well. I know you know nothing. But we got a really nice card. This is from Mary Ellen Kinkle.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Name.
Mary Ellen, and she often comments and just has become a friend of Floss Toss. So you're not gonna believe what she did for us.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Are you ready?
I'm not, but I am. Oh.
She stitched both of us featherweights. Look at that.
My gosh.
I'm going to put the black one up close. She has beautiful stitching.
Oh my gosh.
Is that not the sweetest thing? She said this is a Sue Hillis design. A lot of you probably know. It's an old pattern. It's called Happy Quilting. And yeah, so Sue, I was thinking
we need maybe mine up close.
Yeah, well, either one. You get to choose. Well, wait a minute. No, I'm the black one and you're the blue one.
The blue one.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Gosh, I love it.
So Sue, I can either send you the raw. It's on the it's on the ground cloth, just it's not finished, but I was thinking I was gonna make a little cover for mine. And if you'd like, maybe I could make you a cover for yours and maybe use some Lori Holt fabric because
You
that's
don't
who
have to
inspired
ask
us.
me that twice.
Okay, then because I have that pattern
Oh,
and I thought it'd be fun.
oh.
So
Well,
it might be a few months.
oh, I mean, I was going to say, put me at the back of the burner, but oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much.
I know. This is the sweetest gift. When stitchers receive stitching from other stitchers.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Because
know if,
honestly, no one ever stitches or knit. Chelsea has knit for me. Because I am those things, people assume like, oh, they do it. They wouldn't want it. And that's not true.
I know.
Oh my God.
So special. Thank you, Mary Ellen.
Thank
That
you,
is just
Mary
the
Ellen.
sweetest thing.
Holy cow.
I know.
Unbelievable.
So that will become some sort of cover for our little
Thank you.
featherweights.
I love it.
I know. Okay, well, let's jump into the cross stitch, shall we?
I have done so little, but I have done something that is almost done. And then I have started kind of on a bender of a sort. That I feel like you're on the same bender, maybe.
Oh,
Not sure.
I
So
don't know. I'm on a lot of benders.
I pulled.
Oh, I'm so behind on that.
So I started like thinking like I've got to get to work on this. So like I did a couple mornings and made it all the way down. And
So
then
tell me your stitch sequence. Like, how are you attacking that border? Like, are you?
I'm just going all the way down by rows. So I'm going across. And then so I'm almost done across the top. I'm done down the side. I worked on, it's so big. Hold on. I worked on the cat.
You did.
I finished the middle one. I think that's new.
Yeah.
And I attacked the last one.
So they're all out now.
They're all out. I love it. I love the fabric. I love the floss. I love the pattern. I will miss this piece. I'm anxious to get it done, but I will miss it. It's been a complete, I shouldn't talk about it like I'm done because I'm not done. But it has been a complete joy. I love this.
That is Lori Holt's Prim Stitch series for our Guest Room QalSalPal. Somebody said I crack up every time you say that seriously. And I mean, it's a serious thing now to me. I don't even.
I have not even put a dent in the quilt. I think I just need some space to like process it and get started. Yeah. I can't just jump in. I have to take the time.
You do.
I really do. And
and that may not be until fall or winter.
It may, I would like to think, I lost the bag for this. I would like to think it will be maybe August I'll start. August is quieter for us.
Well, since we're on the topic, I got my next flower done. I think this is one of my favorites. I love that orange and brown. I'm just really enjoying the whole process of those Dresdens. I can listen to a podcast or, it's just relaxing. I can see why people love sewing so much. Now those two bottom leaves, they're, I felt weird about smushing them together on the stem, but that's how Lori has it in her picture. And for this to fit on this long, narrow piece, you had to do that. So I went in with gusto and just stitched over everything, and
I love it.
Bold and confident.
I feel like you are enjoying this so much.
I am.
I feel like you are. Every time you send me something, I'm like, this is her like really happy spot. Like I can feel it. I can feel it. And that's what I want it to be for me. That's why I keep putting it off, because it's like I'm too frazzled to start something that's going to take that much space.
And it takes a space, and it's a process of, today I'm going to cut, tomorrow I'm going to stitch, then I'm going to glue based on, and then I'm going to applique. So and I've got the next one going in the process. So I know I just skipped to quilting, but since we were talking about that, I really haven't that's the main thing for the Guest Room QalSalPal that I've worked on.
I know, and
But
it's so funny because I just like, oh, I love this.
this is the Sunday Stitches by Heartstrings Samplery. It is well with my soul. Like I said last time, I loved stitching those words. Usually I'm not a word fan, but I loved stitching this, and now I'm onto the urn or whatever with the flower coming out of it.
I can be a real word fan person. Depends on the script and everything.
Yeah, so that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to frame it very similar, I think. Maybe if I can find just a standard frame at Hobby Lobby, I'll do that. But that's mainly what I worked on, and I'm doing it in hand, which is so fun. And I'm doing it on 28 count vintage country mocha. I'm just really liking these lower count for the summer. It's just been a lot of fun to just relax and stitch.
I feel like I need to get a lower count project. I feel like everything I'm working on is kind of high count, and so
yeah,
I ended up showing you this because I couldn't not show you but I'm on a Halloween kick.
Oh, yeah, you got me on my Halloween kick.
I know. So I started this a long time ago, and I probably had half the witch done. It's going really fast.
That witch's shoes. I love her shoes. That is the cutest.
I love witches. Like, that's my Halloween theme usually. So really all I have left to do is the other witch, finish the little pot that the pumpkins are in. I've been picking my own colors because I didn't want to go spend $50 on colors and then be frustrated if they didn't have them. So I'm just going in my stash, which is getting bigger, and just picking an orange. It's orange. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. Brenda Gervais.
I'll find it. Hold on. Oh my God, I'm so unorganized.
Who to you or witches?
I don't even know.
That is cute. Bobbing for pumpkins.
Bobbing for pumpkins. It's so sweet.
It's so you, Sue.
It's so me.
It is.
So now, and I already have this one. So my mantle we have two fireplaces. One is a wood stove or a pellet stove. My mantle over there is usually all witches. So I'm going to have Paige just do a little simple grouping of black frames. I'm going to stretch them all. I'm just going to have her, if she's willing, to just mail me the frames. I'll put them in. They're going to sit just on my fireplace. So I have those two, and I have two more. Sorry.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, because I love it. And this was gifted to me by a good friend because she had made it. I love this.
I've never seen that, la-di-da. I might need that for my shop.
Oh my
gosh.
A tiny little kit. It's not big, so it says 35 count. I don't know what I'll use. I think I have a piece that I found like from a long time ago. I don't even think whoever it is dying anymore, but it's like it's kind of like the one I'm using, like a dark and murky.
Yeah. So, is it called murky? I have murky.
No, it's like green mountain fabric. It's an obscure one. Okay, so 36 count, 3 by 9, 3.5 by 9.5. I might be
so cute. That'd be a cute pillow, which we have to talk about. I think we're on board for this, filling up your.
I want to do that.
Bowl.
Hold on, I have one more piece I'm going to show you. Oh, I have two more, but this is the one. So this one I love, but it's a bigger piece. I love this one. I've had this one forever. But then the same friend who loves Halloween and loves primitive gave me this one, Jiggity Jig. Isn't that adorable? I know. I wish I could stitch fast enough that I could pass things along.
Oh, look at that little cauldron down at the bottom.
I love it. I love it so much. So I'm kind of on a Halloween kick.
Isn't that funny? Now all of a sudden it's summer and we're like, you really got me too in the Halloween kick, which I'll show in a minute. But
well, then I also have these two that I love, but I don't think I'll get to them this year.
Yeah.
This one and this one.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, if you saw this mess. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think you started this one, but I want to get
No,
back
I need to get back to that. Yes.
to
The
this.
alphabet one. Would you have what's the name of that one again?
Hold, please.
It's like Halloween sampler or something. Oh my gosh, we need to have a
All
Halloween episode.
No, I feel like it. Oh my gosh, look at this. I see this one. I'm gonna have to leave out.
All Hallows Eve sampler.
I love this so much, and it does work up fairly quickly. Like I did not put a lot of time into this whenever it was I started.
Mm-hmm. All one color.
I love
Except
the
for
color.
yeah, I've got that all ready to go.
Okay, so then one more, and then that's all I have. But
Now I want to get Halloween out.
I know. Well, I'm gonna need what you're doing. Then I thought, oh, I've got to pull this out again because this is my favorite.
Oh, yes, those trees. Oh, I
Um,
love that.
I
Okay,
love
which
it.
one is that one again?
This one is, I know exactly. I just never know
Me
names.
too.
Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This, I've got to get my witches hats out that you made me and get everything. It's a mess. Get
Yes, the
everything
floss. I cannot wait. After 4th of July, I'm going to restock my shop with floss tags, and I kind of know which ones are the favorites, the cult favorites,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to make more of the cauldrons. Yeah, you need some more cauldrons.
Well, I have cauldrons and I have witches hat. Hold on.
Yep, the witch's hat too,
Witches hats.
which I'm
Oh
curious if,
gosh.
which one you like more. You
I
got
love
to
them both.
use. Yeah.
So I'm going to actually put them right in there because I'm going to start.
How fun. Oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so
Yeah, you've got some good Halloween stuff. Now that Hawkhorn Hollow one, I wonder if you could make those individual pillows. They're
absolutely.
the right size.
You absolutely could. They're like
It's a lot of stitching.
full coverage.
Yeah.
They're a lot of work. For my doable, I'm feeling like I want to find some Halloween, maybe a little bit of fall Halloween, not all 100% Halloween, smaller, like, because I want to do them. I don't want it to be a project that takes forever.
Yes.
That would take forever.
Yeah, that would take forever. I
Mm.
love the primitive Halloween stuff. Halloween just lends itself to primitive, in my opinion. I'm kind of feeling like I should do a fall bowl though, so I can keep it out a little bit more. I remember I had this bowl that it's from Don Simmons Woodworks. We got as a wedding gift from friends in Oregon, and this is, oh, it's a special kind of wood in Oregon. Maybe somebody in the Pacific Northwest can remind me what type of wood it is. But it's yes, it's supposed to be, I should go to his website and see. But I thought, oh, maybe I should do a bowl since I have the bowl. And I have a round table, so it'd be kind of nice.
Oh, I love it.
That's what I pulled out for my.
I know. So we need primitive, cute. Like I was thinking for that jiggity jig, maybe just doing one of them and making it into.
That's the thing. We can take little sections from our
Out of things.
bigger pieces, which might be more fun.
That's true. Also on these, each one, like look at all these cute, those are little.
Yes.
And those are little, where am I looking? These are little.
Yeah. Oh, look at the cat. Cute.
I love everything about all of these. Isn't it funny how much I love Halloween? I love to decorate for Halloween. I love Halloween. I love the colors. I hate the thought of going to a costume party.
I am the exact same way. I hate Halloween as a holiday. I don't care about the little, I mean, I care about the little kids, but like I don't care about giving candy out to little kids. That sounded terrible.
That I would enjoy, but we live in a neighborhood where we're in a pit.
Yeah.
So nobody is willing to come down our long, windy, hilly driveway. And I wish I lived on a street where little kids came. Like that part I love. I just, adult Halloween parties, no, it doesn't do it.
Never. Even when I was young and single, I hated dressing up. I hated coming up with a costume. I guess when I was like 3, my parents dressed me up as a witch for Halloween, and they got me all ready, and they said, okay, look in the mirror what you look like. And I scared myself so much and started crying. And I don't know if they had to like disassemble my whole costume and change course or what, but so I had that experience. And then I had another Halloween experience when we lived in Chicago. It was me and 2 girlfriends. We had a bottom floor of a house, and we were, you know, young 20-year-olds coming home from work, not even thinking about Halloween candy or anything. And all of a sudden these kids, these like little hoodlum kids, I swear, they come up to, we hear them coming up the porch steps, and they're knocking on the door, you know, trick or treat. And we're like, oh my gosh, shut all the lights out. We're not here. And we hear this one little boy, we know you're in there. We see the TV on. And we're like, so we grabbed our coins from our wallets and we're giving money out because we had nothing to give. But it was like, we know you're in there, lady.
Well, I went to art school, and our Halloween parties were epic.
I'm sure.
Epic.
Oh,
You know
the pressure.
we did, although we won one year because we were punk cone heads. Remember the cone heads? We were really good. We looked really good, but I did not enjoy it. I and my roommate loved it, and I was like, "You just make the costumes, and I'll wear them." It's like,
I think you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between.
But I love, oh my gosh, I love when I have my lights on in the house at Halloween. I have purple window lights or orange window lights, and
I love the ambiance and it's always dark and rainy here. You know, it's just always creepy.
I love it.
Anyway, well, speaking of Halloween, should I jump into punch needle?
I got a glimpse of this.
Last time I shared with you a couple of new punch needles that I had purchased from the Old Tattered Flag. I showed last time the 2 Old Tattered Flags.
You did not show that other one last time, did you?
Which one? This one?
The Halloween one?
Maybe I didn't.
I don't think you did, because I think I would have jumped on it and gotten it immediately.
Okay. Well, I purchased these 2 because I just thought they were amazing. And the Old Tattered Flag, when you buy their product, it's already, the pattern is pre-printed on the fabric already, which I think is amazing. I love that. So I started the one that's called Tattered Stars. And
you are so punch needling it up, and I'm so jealous.
It's so fun. I find it fun. But this is as far as I got on this. I'm using a 12-inch Morgan frame for this, and it's working great. It's not my lap frame, but lap frames are a lot more expensive than just the simple frame.
And that won't adjust onto your lap frame.
No, it's got special, no, it won't. Yeah. But honestly, I'm sitting at my desk, which is on a corner. And so I just sit on the corner and I hold the bottom and I punch. I really like punch needling at a table or a desk. There's just too much stuff.
Same.
So that's this one. Well, so this one I'm using all DMC.
Love it.
Which is going to be beautiful. It's red, white, and blue. And the white is kind of I don't know, like a primitive white.
I love it.
And then this one, it calls for a variety of different brands. And I have really wanted to try Veldani out of Canada. Veldani, what I learned on the first punch needle is that I'm not a huge fan of using DMC for punch needling because you're constantly having to pull the threads out
and rethread and
every thread. When a pattern calls for 2 or 3 at a time strands, you're always, it's just not seamless. You're constantly putting your needle down and loading it. Whereas Veldani comes in these really cute balls, and they come already 3-plied.
So it's floss, not pearl cotton. Is that correct?
Some is pearl cotton and some is floss. It depends on the designer. Now, this is a pearl cotton right here, and the rest are 3-ply flosses, but this is a 3-ply pearl cotton, I believe. So what I did is I have a contact now at Veldani, and I shared with her the colors of the Old Tattered Flag, and she came up with these colors for me because I'd like to eventually offer this as a kit for my shop. And so right now I started punching, and it is a dream to load once. If I'm doing 6 strands, so what I do is I just pull from 2 balls. Now, the designer of this says that she sometimes pulls from the inside and the outside of the ball. I tried to do that and I ended up with a big mess. So I don't know, I have to figure out the magic to that. But just pulling from 2 balls was incredible with my punch needle. I found I had to put it in a bowl. I mean, I have a yarn bowl that I use, but I mean, you could use an old jar, you could use a mug. You just need it in some sort of vessel so it doesn't go flying around. I had absolutely no tangles. Valdani thread is color fast, which I think is nice for punch needle, especially if you're using it for like a coaster or,
Absolutely.
I mean, you're not as precious with punch needle, I think.
It seems more durable.
Yeah. So this is already pre-printed. I'm using a bigger frame because this is, I think, 12.5 inches wide. So I'm actually using a frame that I bought. It's got a base as well, but I took the base off so you could see. I started the pumpkin, or I got the pumpkin pretty much done.
Is that a rug hooking frame?
This is a rug hooking frame.
Yeah, I've used rug hooking frames for.
It's got this really, those needles.
Deadly.
Yeah, it's deadly, but it works really well for punch needle.
It does.
And I can even, if I have a punch needle that's bigger than this, I can lift it up and move it around and get the area I'm punching more towards the center if I want.
I really like working on rug hooking frames for punch needle. I've done it a lot. Oh yeah. My God, Rachel, I love.
Yeah. I can't wait to get going on the shoes now.
I love witches shoes. They're my favorite.
You need this.
I need that.
So I am punching it because I want to make sure that I have the right amount of the Valdani before I make a kit out of it. And then I will put them probably midsummer, early to mid, maybe in the next month, they'll go up as a kit. And I might even do a pre-order so that I get an idea, because I think it'll be popular. I really do.
Hugely popular, and I want one.
Yeah.
I feel like you're my like drug dealer. I really do. I feel like they'd get me one. And I always thought like it's so on the sly, right? Like, okay, put me down for one.
Yeah, so that's my punch needle right now, and I just absolutely love punch needle.
You make me want to do it so much every time we stop this. It's like, I just want to get to it. It's terrible. And I feel like I've gone to that, like, shoot, I lost my rhythm on it. I had the rhythm and now I lost it. I have to re-look up how to thread it, which I know the minute I look it up, I'll be like, of course I remember.
Oh my gosh, it's so easy to rethread.
Yeah.
You won't have to look.
But then I have to find all my threaders. And,
Well, 4th of July week, we go to the same place every year with friends of ours, and there's more kids than adults. And it's like every year I think, what do I want to bring that might interest the kids in like observing? I'm going to bring some punch needle up. And I'm toying with the idea of taking my featherweight and doing some, I think I want to make, I saw some flag, I think it was Lori Holt. I thought it would be really fun to make some flag mug rugs or something just to leave there,
Oh, I can't believe a year's gone by.
Why
you were on one of our morning Saturday Zoom calls. I'm like, why was I talking to you up there?
That's right. I did.
It seems like yesterday. Oh my gosh. So that was one of my questions. What are you bringing with you? Because that would be weighing so heavy on me. Like, what am I going to bring?
It's weighing so heavy on me. So I think that the American punch, I'm going to do 4th of July stuff. So the tattered stars punch needle, I think. And I think I'm going to take my featherweight and Lori Holt red, white, and bluish fabrics. And then I think I might start, it's either between Stitchy Stars with Lori Holt's and do them in red, white, and blues, or I will go all in, and I have a feeling this is not a good idea, is to start Teresa Koget's Land That I Love, but I think that's too overwhelming to take up there. I want to be able to just pull out some thread and start stitching.
Yeah.
And it's fun for everybody to see progress. Listen, I like they care, but they do kind of walk in and out, see what I'm doing, or see me about the picnic table. And so it's fun.
Oh, do you find you get a lot of downtime while you're there?
Yeah, actually. And now the kids are older. You know, before it was like, okay, get dinner, get lunch, breakfast, everybody eat. Okay, sunscreen. Let's get a lineup of all 12 of you and get sunscreen. Okay, up to the boat. Everybody have a life jacket. You know, it's like, ah. And now it's like, where are they? What are they doing? And the three of us moms just, I guess we should put together something to eat, you know?
That is so fun.
It is so fun. And you know what? With the kids, it's coming to an end. We already have, the oldest ones are seniors and the youngest are sophomores. So they're all teenagers now. And, you know, the seniors, we've got one senior, she's got a job, so she's not coming up. So, you know,
I hated when that used to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, next summer, they're going to all be, the three seniors are all going to be going to college. I don't know if they'll go up. Maybe they'll go up for one last hurrah. And then it's just our youngest. And then it will be empty nesters and we want to take that Viking River cruise.
That's one thing on my bucket list.
I want to do the Chris Kindle Market one. Where it's in the winter and you go along the river. I'm just going to pretend I'm in the medieval times and we're on this ship going down the river and stopping and let's go have some grog or whatever they drink. Glug. What are they? Warm stuff. Mulled wine. I don't know. I do have one thing that I want to show you. And the reason I want to show you is I'm using technology here and I'm going to change cameras. And we were talking about Halloween. I got a layer cake of a new Halloween line. Here we go with words, quilt words, fabric words that came out that I,
oh my gosh.
This is called, let's see here.
I need to get some for my house, you know, my haunted house quilt. I need to stitch them all.
So this is Moda's Kitty Corn.
Ooh.
By Urban Chicks. And I liked it because it's not your typical Halloween colors, but it look at the spiders in there.
Oh, I love it.
Got a little bit of candy corn, which would be fun maybe for the back of a pillow or something.
Love.
I'm feeling
you don't want to just make a Halloween quilt?
I was thinking that too.
I want a Halloween quilt.
Yeah. So I love the moon and stars, and then it's got some whimsical polka dots.
Oh, very whimsical.
Yep. So that's kind of the peachy tones.
Oh.
This, I'm not a cat person, but I could be if it looks like that. That's cute.
I know. I'm not either, but they're adorable.
Yeah, they're adorable. Little, what's that, gingham? Polka dots. More polka dots. Anything different? Moon and stars. I always liked when people do this and show the different fabrics.
Yes, I love it.
Isn't that pretty?
Love it.
And then the darks are coming. I really should.
Oh, I love it. Very different.
I agree. There's no purple.
Oh, I do enjoy purple at Halloween though.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
So cool.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Ooh. Look at the spiders are white in here.
Love.
It's kind of groovy.
Very groovy. I like that word.
So how do people do this?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, isn't that cool though?
So cool. So fun.
So there's Moda, Kitty Corn, Urban
Oh my
Chicks.
gosh, I love it.
That quarter shop has it. So
love it. I had to put all my quilting away because the girls are coming. So it was kind of sad because I like having it out because then I feel like at least I can go fly in there and sew if I want to.
Yeah.
But I kind of put it all, which is kind of good because I feel like now when I take it out again, I'll be a little more organized. It was turning into chaos.
Was it?
Yeah. So it needed.
What will you work on while the girls are here?
I feel like, because I'm trying to think what won't overwhelm me. I feel like I really want to work on the red and white quilt because I was so successful with that one 12-inch block. So I want to go and work on all the 12-inch blocks so far. I think
Mhm.
that'll keep me like focused on something instead of having it this wide range of where to start. So I think that's what I really want to work on first.
I see, oh, Olivia of Pumpkin Hollow, her fabrics that she's used.
Gorgeous.
I mean, yeah, so gorgeous. And I just wanted to jump on that bandwagon. I want to every time I see it, and I think, there's going to be another next best thing coming
There,
down the road. I can't do them all.
there totally is. I have a real love for red and white, and I've got to ask my mother about this because she had a red and white quilt that somebody made on her bed. Got to ask her, I've got to ask her where that is because I think I really have this thing about red and white quilts. I really do love them. So I'm
Mhm.
very happy. Like I'm not like going, oh, now I want to start this one. Like I really love this quilt. It didn't just feel like you said, like jump on the bandwagon. It was like,
Yeah,
oh, I really love this one.
yeah.
So I
Oh.
think that's what I want. I need to get a little bit of a focus. I think that's what it's going to be.
Speaking of antique quilts and your mother having one, last week I went to Chicago for the day to help my Aunt Margaret and Uncle Jim downsize a little bit. They're moving into more of an assisted living thing. And on my other podcast that I had the last 4 years that I haven't had anything on Treehouse Knits, I talked a lot about a great aunt of mine. We called her Tana Liddy, which is German for Aunt Lydia.
Oh,
And she
oh,
was
Aunt
a
Lydia. Isn't she on Handmaid's Tale? That's not a good reference.
Ooh, well,
Aunt
this
Lydia is
this Tanta
beautiful.
Lydia,
Call her
Aunt
that.
Lydia, she really liked a lot of the things I like. This is an old clipping that I have of her spinning for a bunch of young people in my hometown. I mean,
Oh,
probably from the 60s, but she was also a quilter and she hand quilted everything. I don't even know if she machined. I mean, she probably had a machine, but everything was hand quilted. And my Aunt Margaret, when she got married 55, 56 years ago, Tanta Liddy made her a wedding quilt, and it was always called the wedding quilt, the wedding quilt. And my aunt is not a quilter. This is not her thing, and nor is it her children's thing. And they just didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, well, I would love it. It's definitely a quilt of the times. I mean, this is like 1963 or something, but it's completely hand done and it's hand applique.
oh my
Even the
goodness.
quilting is all hand done. I don't know, it's so hard to, but
Wow.
it's pink and green. But if I hold it up, I don't know, you can get an idea
It's beautiful.
of it. I mean, every stitch is all,
It's
everything is
breathtaking.
hand
You know what
turned applique. It's a
I
scalloped quilt.
I see that as someday you're gonna have a little granddaughter and you'll have a
Well,
little room for
wouldn't
her.
that be nice? Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
So
it's
and it's just
beautiful.
backed. You can see her hand quilting better on the back.
Mhm. I love hand quilting.
And there's like tulips and cross hatching. But I'm curious, viewers, what is this band that she put all the way around on the back? Like a strip of just cotton that she hand tacked down, and it's almost like it's the male end of a snap.
Do you think, oh, do they snap on the other end?
No, because they're all the male part of this, and it's all the way around. At first, I thought it was a way to hang it,
You think
but
that's what I was thinking, hanging, but do you think there's a piece that your aunt didn't put in there?
I
Like
don't know.
send with you? Like would it have made it warmer or that sounds ridiculous.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. So if anybody out there knows what
I'm
that could be,
curious.
that would be great. But just, my one little quilt I've started appliquing the Lori Holt way.
Mhm.
I mean, she didn't have Lori Holt YouTube videos,
Isn't that amazing?
and it's all turned under, and I just see every stitch in here, and
Wow.
I couldn't not take this.
No, oh my, but that is you hate to say it, but that's a Goodwill find, right?
Totally. And I'm going to have it folded up in one of those cabinets with the glass, and I'll just
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I'll be its caretaker.
Yeah.
for this generation. So that's
I know it's the
my,
next generation that I worry, like they really don't want a lot of stuff.
I know.
They don't.
We were talking about that in our family when we were at Aunt Margaret's, because it was me and my cousin Joanna, her daughter, and my mom, and we'd bring out all this stuff and it just make us talk about our ancestors. And we spent last year on Zoom calls when
Mhm.
was that? Every Wednesday or Sunday? Every Sunday evening, I had a family ancestry Zoom call where we showed pictures and talked about ancestors. And basically my mom and aunt passed it all down to Joanna and I. And, it was so fun just seeing all this handwork. I have a ton of it, which I'll just share occasionally, but
Mhm.
lots of hand crochet, like this crochet on these tiny little needles, and it looks like lace, and these doilies and tatting. And I can't get rid of that.
I know. I have very little of my grandmother's, very little. But and I'm not really a keeper of a lot of stuff,
Hmm.
like, but stuff like that, oh no, you can't get rid of it.
No, it tells a story, and it's their handiwork. And we were talking about how my mom said, well, they didn't have TV to watch like we do. And I thought, yeah, you're right. And then I was like, well, no, she loved doing that. Like, you can
Yeah.
tell that you don't just do that because you have nothing else to do.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Right. There's other things she could have been doing.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
get that. And I love that I connect with her on that. I don't know. It's a way for me to connect with my relatives.
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
it.
Definitely.
I have one thing that I'm loving right now that I wanted
Oh,
to share that
yeah.
has to do with historical needlework. It's a podcast I've been listening to
Oh,
that I
yeah.
absolutely love. I love history. So if you're not a big history person, you probably won't like it.
I have my pen ready.
Yes, get your pens, everyone.
Got it.
I have been listening to season 2 of the So What podcast, and so is spelled SEW. It is,
Is it audio
it's
or?
just audio. So you'd find it on your podcast app.
I feel like I've heard of it.
I don't know where I heard of it, but maybe we heard of it the same place.
I feel like I've
Um,
listened to it.
but it's a young 20-something PhD student
Oh,
in historic needle arts. And she's studied at the Albert and Victoria Museum. She's studied at Winchester in Delaware. She's she's a young person, next generation, passionate about this old stuff. So when we say, I don't think the new generation, there are some people out there
there
that
are
are really into it,
definitely,
just
there
not our kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chelsea for sure. It's interesting. My boys, Jacob really appreciates a lot of the needlework I do. He really does.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's more what I'm noticing is they're not one, like I have a lot of things like that I've collected over the years, like say buyers carolers, things like that. And I had bought them with the intention of giving them to my kids, like around their personalities, and
Mm,
they really don't want them.
yes, the
So
collections.
do you get rid of them or did they just not know they want them yet?
That's a real thing,
I know because I've
because
seen
I
that.
would have never wanted this quilt 20 years ago.
I know, and I've seen that evolution with Chels of things at the beginning were like, no, I don't want it, and now there's shifting going on. So I'm afraid to get rid of. I mean, it's good stuff. It's not like junk stuff. It's like
Yeah.
really good stuff.
Yeah.
But again, it's stuff. I don't. It's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
It's a hard
But
one.
I'll go back to the podcast. So what I like about her is she's young and studying all of the things that we find interesting. And she's been to these places, or she's researched them, things in museums, and she kind of talks. I just could listen to her all day. She's got a very youthful exuberance. So it's
Oh,
not
I
like,
don't know that. I feel like I've heard of it for sure.
just an example, the last one I listened to was the needlework of historic boys and men. It was fascinating. There's so many men out there, and she talks about how normally when you look at history, or if you go to art school, you study the male sculptors, the male painters, and needlework kind of flips that to the other, you know, you're studying these young girls' works, so she thought it was neat that, you know, people are like, boys don't do needlework, men didn't do needle, yeah. And so that was a really interesting one. And then she has an Australian schoolgirl needlework chat with Kat Gay. She has really good people that she interviews. She interviews the curator at the Art Institute of Chicago of needlework. They're doing an exhibition. It's a quilt exhibition. Bisa Bauer, I think is her name. She is a Black artist, and what she does is she takes old photos of African-American Black people and her family and other people, and she quilts these photos, and they are unbelievable. They're just gorgeous. I mean, it just opened my eyes to a whole another way of, you know, quilting. And her PhD is around Quaker stitching, and how when Quakers stitched in Europe, everything was very ornate. And when you think of Quaker, you don't think of ornate things. And so she's trying to understand why was what they were doing so ornate in Europe, and then they came over here and it was very yeah. But I think she does such a great job of interviewing, and I highly recommend her.
I need a good podcast.
2 seasons.
Do you follow on Instagram Pride and Joy Quilting?
No, I don't.
Look it up. It's one of my favorite feeds. She does it's like paper piecing, but it's different. She's phenomenal. That she's done Oprah. She does people.
Yes. She's got beautiful stuff. That's kind of similar to this Bisa, B-I-S-A. I want to see if I can find, Bisa Butler is her name. And I mean, look at, she just takes.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
Let's see if I can, oh wait, that's here. I can just scroll.
Wow. Very, very different style, but same idea, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Every time I look at the Pride and Joy one, it's like, oh, I want to do those. I
know. And she does her work right on a long arm. Initially, she did it just on her sewing machine, but she's like, why am I not doing it all at the same time? And she sometimes has 7 fabrics layered on each other just to get.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So anyway.
I love it.
Check that out. And now I want to go to Chicago Art Institute and go see her exhibit.
Gonna say, you're so close. Why don't you go? I would want to go.
I know. So totally.
Okay.
Oh, I feel like I've just got.
I know we've had a long morning because we've had the Paige one. So now we're gonna transition right into our conversation with Paige. And you guys, again, this giveaway, it's worth it to watch just to hear what the giveaway is. It's beyond generous. And also I love that now we've introduced Paige to this community as a real live person.
Yeah.
Because she's so fun and we love her so much.
And so talented.
So talented, so inspirational, amazing businesswoman. We do a lot of, during the pandemic, we did a lot of Zoom calls that were always turned into this business meeting, right? Even though we all do separate businesses, and it was so great.
Yeah, so inspirational, and she's so creative. So without further ado, is that how you say it?
I think so. Without further ado,
here's our conversation with Paige. So as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, we have a special guest. Here is our guest, Paige, the framer of Frame and Fiber. We've talked so much about you, Paige. We had to bring you on the show.
Every episode at least 5 times.
I know. I feel like when you guys do infomercials for Frame and Fiber.
Sponsored by Frame and Fiber.
Speaking of that, can I thank your audience for all of the business they've given me? It's unbelievable. So thank you. Thank you. Good.
So Paige, we know you well, but a lot of these folks out here might not know who you are. Will you let everyone know who the lovely Paige is?
Sure. Yeah, so it's Paige the framer, not the farmer. In the knitting world, people think of me as a farmer because of sheep. Nope, I'm Paige the framer. And I've been doing this since I was a teenager, and I bought this place. It'll be 20 years in October that I've owned it. So, but yeah, I love what I do. I love helping people kind of realize so half the time they don't even realize they have a vision of something that they want in their home, but I just love helping people make their home feel that much more, I don't know, personal and like homey to them. They express what they love in their space. So it's super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes.
And
well, and there's a great joy found for us in our stitching, but a lot of us get done with the stitching part and it's like, well, how do we enjoy it now for the rest of our life? And a lot of us just put our stuff in boxes
A lot
and not finish. And what
Yeah.
I've realized in the last few years that I've been stitching is the great importance of finishing fully finishing your stitching project. In knitting, you have to finish it if you want to wear it. It's not as a dramatic of a thing in knitting or crochet, the finishing part, but finishing can make or break your beautiful stitching.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And I frame. I'm not a stitcher. You guys are stitchers. I am a framer.
You're such an amazing stitcher.
I've
You
actually
just started.
Wow, that's not stitching. That's stitching? Well, it's embroidery, right? So it's not the same thing, is it?
Okay, so let's just put one thing out there. Everyone needs to follow you. Where do you put your embroidery? Is it under Paige the framer? Do you only have one?
Paige the frame. Yeah. So I have 2 Instagram accounts. Well, technically 3. 2 Instagram accounts. Paige the framer is kind of how do we say it? Conglomeration of like work and play and life. So if you want to, chickens and knitting, hiking, sometimes picture framing, stitching, whatever I'm into. And then there's Frame and Fiber on Instagram as well, which is more geared towards my business. So
your personal account shows your beautiful embroidery and your beautiful drawings. Oh my God.
So the stitching that I've started though, I have to blame on you guys because I started watching Floss Toss because you are my pals and I just like hanging out with you guys when you toss the floss.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, maybe I should stitch. I'm like, no, I won't stitch. And then Rachel starts selling things and I'm like, oh, well, I could buy like maybe. And so I bought needles from Rachel. I have. So next thing you know, now I'm dabbling. I'm still not stitching. But what I was mentioning about that was, even though I'm not a stitcher, I'm a framer, I'm a finisher. And I really think I want to do a video, either for you guys or for me, myself, however, talking to cross stitchers and needle pointers, because those are 2 different crafts that have different applications when it comes to finishing, and to give some tips from my perspective. So not the maker, but the finisher, the framer, to let people know like, hey, if you're going to do this, you need to think ahead a little bit or so.
Yes, that would be the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. That is key. I mean, I've noticed too, some things that I've stitched, I've gravitated to these colors that I love to use and stitch in, but then in the end, it's like, where do I put that in my house? It matches nothing. And then there's items where I was like, you know what, I'm going to go with this color scheme. It might not be my most favorite thing I've ever stitched, but then it gets finished and it's put up in my living room and I love it.
And tell me, like, finishing doesn't just make the piece. Like, it's lovely when you finish stitching it, but when it's finished, it's like, everyone's blown away that you made that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Do you have any samples of some finishing?
You know what? I'm so bad. I'm going to go get one of mine because we're sitting here and nobody's witnessing. It might be the first time watching. So
exactly.
I run. Don't look at the mess.
We'll talk a little bit more. Well, we'll talk. Paige, you have a whole bunch of videos out. Last year, you spent 2020 videoing a lot of your friends' work.
Yep.
You framing their work. And I found those videos fascinating. I'll put a link down below to mine and to Sue's videos,
Nice.
where it
Nice.
shows just, you know what it does? It shows why quality framing costs what it costs. I mean,
Yeah,
it
and
really shows the value and the time that you take and the products
funny.
that you use.
I've had customers come in who've like searched custom framing on, maybe, I don't know if they're searching it on YouTube or if it's on Google. I have no idea how they're searching, but I've had 3 customers who are local to me find me because of those videos, which was pretty cool. But they thought the one was a cross stitcher, and she, who is Little Lion Stitchery here on YouTube, she had said that she liked the fact that she could see what I was doing behind the scenes with her hard work.
Yes.
You know, like, she was like, "Oh, wait a second, that's what you're going to do to mine? Okay, I'm comfortable giving it to you."
Yes. And you know, when you did my my Jane Austen one, I can't remember the name of it, the one with the anyways, when you did it, that was an early on stitch of mine where I used a very light colored linen with a dark brown black thread. And I mean, I could have taken it to like a Hobby Lobby. They would have framed it the way I told them, and I would not have been happy because all of my trailing threads would have been showing through. But you helped me solve that problem by putting a darker backing to it so that you didn't see any of my floats, which...
That's what I did with this one.
Oh, okay. Tell us about this one,
Tell us
please.
about
I mean, they're different fabrics. This is a white fabric, and this is a natural. But can you see how dark this one is? It's because there's black behind it. Because the contrast between the dark thread and that light fabric was pretty ugly.
It shows every little flaw. Now, those are actual stitches that you drew to begin with, right?
Hold them up and like let it
One by one, close.
Wait, hold on.
Not as quickly, because I want to stare at it.
Oh, to see, like, so well, you can't really see the contrast by itself.
No, we don't want to. We want to see the stitching.
Oh, the stitching.
We don't care about the contrast page.
It's a stitching show, Paige.
It up. I wanted to find your frame. It's on this wall someplace that I use for Jane Austen. I can pick every frame that I've used for you guys without seeing the ones that are in your house right now.
I want to talk about that in a minute. Oh my God, Paige.
Am I doing that right?
Okay, tell us the start to finish on this.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I wish I had brought my sketchbook with me. That would have been smart. Oh well.
Oh well. I thought
you can see your sketches on her Instagram.
Yeah. I post a bunch of them. And I'm going to start posting the finished pieces with the drawing. I didn't think to do that. So I'll start doing that too. So I've always doodled. I've always drawn. Like if I'm not, I feel like maybe like a lot of you out there who gravitate towards the needles and the hooks, right? We can't sit still. And in order to sit still, my hands need to be doing something. Otherwise, my brain is out in left field. So I've been doodling like that my entire life. Like everything, if we go out to dinner, the napkin will have like, little drawings on it. It's just silly. So when did I start doing? I found radial graph paper. I didn't know it existed. And I started drawing these.
I don't have a book here. I wanted to show them.
It's basically graph paper that's in the form of a circle, so you can stay very consistent.
Yeah. Right. And it's funny. So I've always used regular graph paper. Now that I'm stitching as in cross stitching, I want to go back to regular graph paper because I have so many ideas. I need to stop sleeping so I can get all of this done. Like I'm this morning, I couldn't wait to talk to you guys about the stitching.
So how did you get from paper to embroidery on there?
I feel like it was, again, watching you guys on Floss Toss and just like seeing, framing some of the stuff that you guys do, a lot of the needle pointers that come in. I see so much, I see so many different examples of people's work that I can't help not wanting that to, again, what's the word I'm looking for?
Emulate?
It influences what I end up doing.
Yeah.
And then of course I have you guys who I'm friends with, and then my friend Joan, who is like the biggest encouragement, who was like, I said, I'm like, I think I need to cross stitch maybe my mandalas. And she's like, no, you need to do embroidery. And I said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then my friend Sharon and I, this was a kit that I bought at Rhinebeck,
That
I
is
don't know, years ago. And I forgot about it. So I had stitched this, and I was like, I need to like learn some stitches, because I was looking things up, and there's a lot in this that aren't really not so good. So I found this, and it was just a stitch sampling different ways of doing outline stitches.
You are quite a speedy stitcher.
I didn't realize you had those two done. Oh, good grief. Those are beautiful.
Those are not little stitches. Like I can't, did you design that one?
Yes.
That's one of your mandalas?
All right, so this is going to be a real problem, because everyone, mostly me, and I'm just going to throw in everyone, because then maybe you'll do it. I need the kit. I want the kit, like now. Okay, so can I ask you one framing question around that? Because I immediately go to put a circular frame on that.
You totally could. I don't love circular frames.
I love them.
So if there's like a grouping on a wall and most of the frames are square, I would love to throw in a circle. But a lot of times when it's just a circle by itself on a wall, if it's small like this, I should say, not big. If it's a big circle or an oval, I'm not talking about that, but small, they look like they're just like bubbles floating in space. They just don't look right to me. So that's why I like the square.
I love that.
I would do a circular mat, definitely. And in one of those videos that I did, Rach, that you mentioned from 2020, I did one for Chevy Rell, a cross stitch, and that was a circle mat.
I like what you did right there, and I love the frame that you picked. Why did you pick that frame?
Okay, so this frame is not it's not staying.
Oh.
I picked this frame because I was like, oh, that fits. Let me shove it in there.
Okay. That's the framer. It's like the cobbler's children never have shoes. The framer never has frames.
This was my oops frame. This is one of those like, oh, I measured wrong. Let's just put it up for sale. So I'm going to switch it to this.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
That's crazy.
I love it.
I think I do.
It's just one color. It's that navy blue. It's the exact color right there. And I'm putting it on the wall with all of these bright, colorful ones. So I kind of want it to play off each other. And I don't know. I'm a framer. I should do this.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I love how you're already thinking of your grouping in mind.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Again, also going back to all you cross stitchers talking about your sampler walls.
Yeah.
Sampler wall.
The sampler wall's killing me right now.
Me too. I can't get one fast enough.
I know, me either.
Wait, do you have the pieces? You have them hung up though, the ones that I framed for you yet?
Oh, all the ones because I found really nice spots for them, like the two samplers, the Charlie sampler, and the other one is over like my gorgeous roll top desk in my little knitting room. The only one that's not hanging, and then okay, so I'm going to show the ones that Paige have done for me. You've also done one more, but I thought I would spare people seeing it again because it was last week. This.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
I love that.
I know. This goes from being this tiny little piece to this masterpiece, right?
So good.
Masterpiece. It weighs a ton.
Making it feel even more like fragile and amazing.
Let's look at the back.
Every once in a while, if I have a small enough piece, and I don't think the person will mind, I have this antique wrapping paper and I put that on the back instead.
I want that next time.
I love it.
I'll put it up.
If it matches.
This piece weighs another 5,000 tons. That one's
heavy.
So my love of frames is taking a small piece and making it and putting a massive frame on it. Now it doesn't always work. Like the last one we didn't go massive frame, and it's perfect.
Isn't it perfect?
Big, it's so perfect.
But I
Which
think
one
that
is
frame's
that? I'm
perfect.
forgetting.
It's the modern folk embroidery.
Scandinavian.
Yes, I love that one. Well, Scandinavia is about clean lines and just.
I also think with his designs, because they're so intricate and like you need to kind of, your eyeballs need to zoom in sometimes to see, unless you're like, that's not true. I guess you could step far away and see it. But those thin frames, just there's something about those designs in a thin frame that I like.
Yeah.
I agree. So I have a couple of thoughts that I want to talk about because, well, first of all, we haven't said where you're located. You're in New Jersey.
I'm in New Jersey, Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Second of all, there's this piece of, for me, when I ship it to you and you have no frame of reference of where I'm going to put it or anything, you zoom in on the most important piece for me is you frame to the piece. You don't frame to the room. I mean, it's always in the back of your mind. I mean, I remember when I was framing, oh my gosh, people would come in and go, I want an oak frame because I have an oak dresser and I have an oak this and I have an oak that. And it's like, okay, I understand that, but do we want to just work with the piece? And because it's so important, it makes it so successful. Right. So I feel like, I don't know, there's something about like even doing it the way we do it. It's like, you're just so focused on that piece, nothing else. And it's so great.
It's totally, you know, I get people, everyone has little, you know, they come in with different ideas in their mind, but that thinking it has to match where it's going to, where they're thinking they're going to put it is great in the moment, but paint color changes, the room might change. What if you put it in a guest room and then you have a fourth child and now that's like everything moves, you know, like it's not permanent. And so if you frame the artwork specifically for the artwork, it'll go no matter where you put it because you're already putting the artwork in there. It's funny, people say that to me all the time. They'll have like, maybe it's a watercolor of a floral, you know, just a still life or something. And they bring it in and you look at it and you can see these like bright oranges and reds because the flowers. And they say, so we're putting in this room, but you know, we don't really have a lot of red or orange in there. And I always say to them, I'm like, but you're putting red and orange in there by putting this artwork in there. So if you want to put blue in there, maybe either change the artwork or maybe put this artwork, you know, so it, you want the artwork to be the focus, not the drapes.
Right. Yes. Well, it's kind of like in a really like weird, it's not really the right word, but honoring what you're framing by framing it as a complete piece, not as a fit-in piece.
Right. And then there's the people who maybe the room actually is the artwork, right? So they are so into interior design that matching the artwork with the because the overall aesthetic of the room is what they're doing, that totally is cool too. But generally with those people don't bring in things they love, they just bring in things where the colors work so that the whole room will be loved. So it's not that there's a right or wrong, it's just what's the point of the framing of this piece right here on the counter.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
And if you made it, I'm sorry, that's the focus.
So the third piece is we're going to talk about the safety of your piece in travel.
Oh my gosh, Paige.
Oh my God, Dave, the last one, he was like, how does she even have time to do this? Like because he's always the one opening it because I'm so impatient, I'd probably slit it wrong and ruin, but the way you package it, I literally could take it and slam it against a brick wall with, well, my force probably wouldn't be as great as someone stronger, but nothing would happen. It is so, between the giving you the piece and feeling like it's so safe, like just trusting you so much with the work, and then knowing you're just as concerned about me getting it back, like overly concerned.
You know what? It's kind of like those Russian nesting dolls. Like you open one and you're like, okay, this has got to be it. You open the next one.
He was like, okay, we're there. Oh my God, we're not there. And I'm like bursting with
I
excitement.
am.
Okay, every single human that I have framed for in the past 2 years, because about 2 years is how it's been shipping.
Yeah.
Everyone says, "Oh, I love my piece," and then 2 seconds later, they talk about the packaging more.
It's hysterical. And when it comes and it's always sitting in my garage and I'm like, it's here. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
no, and then it's like, how is that cardboard rounded? Aren't the corners rounded at times?
Well, so actually, I'm a little, I think maybe I would really love owning a business where all I did was ship special things for people because I love making those little boxes.
Oh, that's
No
amazing.
idea why. So weird. And it's rounded because I use a burnisher to make sure. So because it's not an actual box, it's all pieces of cardboard that I tape together. I want to make sure that nothing can get torn off. So at the very end, I burnished down the edges, just to make sure. My mailman even was like, "Wow, that's a nice box."
I always want to save them. I always want to
I
save them.
know.
Oh my gosh, it's just like, I should not be throwing this away. It's a piece of art.
Well, and by the
Okay,
time you pull everything out, it's this like the pile of stuff you've.
So
It's
the
amazing.
downside to that is, I think it was one of your viewers. Hi, Barbara, if you're watching. She is in California, so I shipped out to her, and I didn't put the right glass on hers. I didn't read it, and I gave her regular conservation glass instead of museum glass. And I was like, "Son of a gun!" I'm like, "You know what? Package it back up. I will pay for the shipping, blah blah blah." And she looks like, "Yeah, I can't package that back up."
Exactly.
I wouldn't either.
Oh my gosh. So this poor woman now has like, I mean, I didn't charge her for the glass, obviously, right? But I was like, "If you go to a framer by you, I can have them and I'll pay them." And she's like, "Well, I picked you because I don't have a framer near me." I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
that's
so I need
right.
to." So yeah, that's the downside, is that you guys couldn't possibly ship it back to me if I needed to fix
No.
something.
I'm not shipping it back to you. You'll keep it.
I know. Wait, it's back here? She must want me to have it.
know.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So, Paige, you have been so lovely to us in offering our 3,000 subscriber giveaway.
Yes, I mean, why not? It's so much fun.
Well, can you tell us what you're offering to our lovely viewers? The
Well,
winner, not every one of them.
basically what you just talked about. You guys will get a box that's very hard to open. No, so I'm thinking, if you have if there's a cross stitcher out there who would like to, and especially I would love it to be, I mean, it's random, right? I'm sure you're doing it randomly. It would be fun if it was someone who's never had something custom framed before, so they could, really experience the fun, because I think it's fun. And they'll, first we'll contact by email, make sure like everything's okay with them, that they want to send it to me. I will frame it up and ship it back to them. We'll kind of either do this, if I've had some people who don't want to do video, so we'll either talk on Zoom, or I do video and either Dropbox or email or something like that.
Yeah, and if you watch one of the videos below of me or Sue doing our consultation with you, that'll give you an idea of the process.
Yeah.
Paige, you use different video cameras and you emailed pictures to me, and it was.
I will say, it, nothing like, not one of those huge, modern folk like.
Yeah, why don't you give us some dimension? Yeah.
If the piece itself measures like, I don't know, 11 by 14 and lower, it can be tiny, whatever, but I feel like 11 by 14 is a good number, because then like it'll give you enough for a mat. And for me, I'm just thinking, shipping wise, when things are bigger than that, it does take a little bit more with me for shipping. So just so I don't have to like deal with the extra shipping, keeping it small would be best.
And
So
yeah, go ahead.
Just to make it very clear, because you don't want to leave any spaces.
Oh yeah.
It has to be a cross stitch piece. It can't be a family portrait.
Right. We're specifically cross stitch here on the floor
Could it
toss.
be needlepoint or just cross stitch?
So
Okay, I don't know the.
you know why? So the difference between cross stitch and needlepoint is the blocking. And I do a lot of needlepoint, like a lot of needlepoint. There's a needlepoint shop less than a mile away from me. And so we have a really good relationship and their customers come in all the time. And I love doing all framing, but needlepoint definitely, I only allow myself to do about 3 or 4 a week because they hurt my hands. So I prefer not to, I mean, not that I prefer, it's not that I don't prefer to do them. I will take any job anyone wants to give me, but
for the purpose of our giveaway, I think a cross stitch.
I want to make sure that we have all the good parameters around.
Yeah. I mean, it could be embroidery too, because this doesn't have to be blocked as either. I think it's just the blocking I would like to avoid. Cross stitching, not a problem.
Okay.
And I do 2 ways with the well, yeah, I'll get into that with someone when they win.
Yeah.
and let them know it's free. This is a giveaway, as in like, give it to me, I'll give it back to you. Woo.
So generous, Paige. Thank you so much.
Beyond generous. Beyond.
Yes, beyond is right. I think we will have to, if you are interested in kind of going for this wonderful 3,000 subscriber giveaway, you must be a subscriber, obviously. You know what, everybody always says, like this video. So go ahead and like our video. That'd be nice. And if we could do the keyword, let's do Paige.
Paige.
Because we talk about Paige all the time. And Paige is spelled Paige.
Which is important in the random generator. So make sure you, and we'll put it down there.
Yes.
We
will. Me and the little mouse in my pocket.
I know.
Paige, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for offering this amazing giveaway. This is like the best.
My pleasure.
It is amazing. Like, I remember, Rachel, you told me that Paige wanted to do this, and I was like, really? Like, it's huge. It's a huge giveaway. It's not like, okay, I'm done with this pattern, I'm gonna give it away. Like, this is major what you're doing.
Yes, thank you. This is exciting. So again, if you want to join in and try and win this amazing gift from Paige, down below, just put the word Paige, Paige, and like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us, Paige. Will you come back again? I think you should come back again and talk to us about more about the framing process and how we can stitch.
I would love, you know what I would love to do, which maybe this you want to cut out. I have no idea. I would love for your viewers to ask framing questions about cross stitch that I could answer. And we don't have to do a video. Like, they could ask the questions and then I could do a video myself. You guys don't, and then I can ship it off to you, or I can put it on Instagram, whatever. But I think that would be pretty cool, because there are so many things that people might not know. Like, for instance, picture framing is expensive. Like, even cheap framing is expensive. And so how do you get around that? You know, there's so many questions. So if you would like, they could definitely ask questions too. It could be Paige, comma, blah, 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 blah.
If you do that, you're in for the drawing and you're in for the Q&A with Paige.
Yeah. So if you want, you know.
Yeah, go ahead and do that down below. It's a great idea.
I love that idea, because I know for me, I get so easily intimidated lately. I don't remember this being a big piece of me, but like, even I remember English paper piecing. I wanted to do it. I was so intimidated by it, and I had so many questions. And even then, it was like, I don't get it. Like, I'd have to do it on replay. So it's like, most people are really intimidated by something, by walking into your shop and not knowing what they're walking into, or what.
Totally.
You know, like, even price range, or it's intimidating. So I love.
And I think most people know that, like, picture framing, I think picture framing doesn't have to be as expensive, I think, as what people have in their minds. But what's in their minds has them, so because you know, people talk and people, oh, I paid $500 for that or 800, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. And so you're afraid to walk into a shop to find out how much something will cost, because what if it's too expensive and now you feel bad leaving? Like,
Yeah.
it's,
When I had my shop, I would be very upfront about pricing at the beginning. Like they'll be like, oh, I don't know. And I would say, how much are you looking to spend? And I can tell you if that's something we can work within or how close we can get. Like I always had that dialogue right at the beginning, because you don't want to go, oh, I thought it was going to be 50 and it's 300, you know.
And there's nothing worse than like someone who, like, I don't want anyone feeling like they have to slink out of my store. Like, that's just not cool. Like, you don't do that to people.
Yeah, I agree. I love the idea.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
great.
question.
Okay, so I think that's it. Should we just end our show right here with Paige? Yeah, let's end our show with Paige.
No, I love you, my friend. You're the very best.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. We may go a week without one because of 4th of July.
Yes.
Week. But anyway.
Thanks for having me.
So take care. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.